A bog filter is so damn effective due to its size. Because of its size, it can grow a heck of a lot of beneficial bacteria. Then you have the added benefit of the plants, the habitat it creates for heaps of other beneficial organisms, and you've got yourself a powerhouse of a filter. But what do you do if you don't have the space to fit a bog filter? In this video, I want to give you some other cost-effective options. If you don't already know me, my name is Kev. The aim of my channel is to help people build and maintain a pond without spending a fortune. If that sounds like something that interests you, you might like to subscribe and visit my website ozponds.com for lots of helpful resources, products and guides. Biofiltration is the most important part of designing and building a pond, in my opinion. Here's an interesting chart I saw the other day that perfectly illustrates just how important it is and how it does so much more than any other type of filter. But if you don't already know, a biofilter just means a filter that is alive. It's alive with bacteria and other beneficial organisms that filter your pond's water. And my favourite type of biofilter is a bog filter. When I size a bog filter, I size it based on the volume of water inside the pond and what sort of animals are being kept in the pond. I do this for two reasons. One, we're filtering the water, so it makes sense to size the filter based on the amount of water. And number two, different animals produce different amounts of waste, which really results in more nutrient. More nutrient means more bacteria and other organisms are needed to process it. For example, a koi or a duck pond will need much more bacteria than a pond with small fish. Why? Because the koi and ducks create more nutrient, aka waste. Now I've got guides and articles that go into more detail on this on my website, and you can check that out if you want. But let's say I have a 10,000 litre pond, and that's about 2,600 gallons for my US friends. If the pond was for koi or ducks, I'm going to want a bog filter in the 25% range, or 2,500 litres, which is about 650 gallons. So this filter is going to take up a fair amount of real estate. Now I personally don't think it's that bad, as we can make the filter look quite nice. This image on your screen is a bog filter built using pond liner, and it just looks like a smaller pond that feeds the main pond, and it's got lots of plants inside it. So because it looks good, I'm not really fazed by how much room it takes up, and like I said, it's a powerhouse of a filter. This particular filter, like I said, was built into the ground using pond liner, but you can use containers, tanks, stock troughs, old bathtubs, really anything that will hold water and gives you the required amount of volume. Again, over on the website you can find many different designs I've tried and tested over the years. But basically the size of the filter is based on the volume because we will fill the filter with rock, pebble and plants. The bacteria and other organisms will colonise all this surface area that the rock, pebble and plant roots provide. And that's basically how we end up with beautiful clear water that's healthy for the fish, duck, turtles, or whatever you're keeping inside the pond. A bog filter is my go-to filter whenever possible for this reason. I just find it so easy to get consistent results, and after doing this for many years, I have testimonials from people all over the world who have replicated those results. So if at all possible and you can incorporate a bog filter, I highly recommend it. But what do you do if you simply don't have the space? Two things. Number one, you need a filter that will grow more bacteria in a smaller space. And number two, you need to pass more water through this smaller filter. So first let's look at how we can increase the surface area. There's all kinds of bacteria growing media available for purchase, and to be honest, I haven't tried them all. But basically they're all manufactured to provide the most amount of surface area as they can fit into a small package. If you have a favourite type of media, let me know in the comments, and that's going to help other people as well. So here's one of my simple DIY filters that uses bioballs and coarse sponges. The water comes into the bottom of the filter, the sponges help trap sediments and fish waste, bacteria and other helpful organisms are living on the sponges and in the muck. On top of the sponges is this big bag of bioballs. These are just a plastic ball with a funny shape to maximise surface area. The construction of this filter was very simple, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch the video of how I built it. But the bioballs and sponges provide more surface area for the bacteria than rock and pebble do. But this filter is still only a fraction of the size of a bog filter. So to make up for that, we're going to move more water through the filter, and that means a bigger pump. How much flow, I hear you ask? If this were the only filter, I would want the entire pond circulated through this filter every hour, and if the pond was heavily stocked, even more. For example, some of my aquariums, the entire water volume of the aquarium is passed through the filters every 15 minutes. And bacteria and the organisms that filter water are diverse, and therefore different types thrive in different types of conditions. So even if you can't fit a full-size bulk filter into your design, I personally think incorporating a smaller one is still beneficial alongside a high-flow filter. And when it comes to the size of a high-flow filter, I still say that bigger is better. Why? Because it can grow more beneficial bacteria and helpful organisms that will filter the water. I also think if you can incorporate plants, rock, pebble or sand in the pond itself, that also helps to increase the surface area and habitat for the bacteria and other organisms. And as that chart at the start of the video so perfectly illustrated, the biological filter can take care of so many issues provided it's sized correctly. And if you want to see how I size and build my DIY filters, I have a handy guide available on ozponds.com. I do hope this video was helpful. If it was, here's another one you might like. Thanks for watching. See ya.